Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Season 5 of the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat, a conversation providing tips for every entrepreneur and business owner.
When you take time to enjoy the moment you are in, you are nurturing the connections that you have made and honoring time spent with them. Join host Selena of Hauoli Socially Inspired and Anna of NomadAbout with guest Matthew Shanks, creator of the Kovii App, for this special Father's Day edition. We'll talk about making connections, nurturing connections, and leveraging connections.
Yay! We're so excited to be here.
I know, right? Hi, my friend. How are you?
Hello. So a couple of things for anyone that's tuning in right now. Number one, this is the last show of Season 5. And then we're taking a break, right? Just a couple of weeks to get things all sorted out for Season 6. But last show for Season 5, which makes me a little sad.
I know. Wait, let's talk about something really exciting. What about? This is our 50th 550. We were just talking about this with Matthew, like it's mirrored. Which way does it show you that it's 50? But this is our 50th episode, you guys. Anna and I keep talking about we cannot believe that we are doing these many episodes and we have kept to it. We have not stopped. So high five to you, friend. Yep, there it is. Yep, we're just getting this mirror stuff out of the way. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. But don't forget, we're not going to be here for a couple of weeks because we're taking a little bit of a summer break. And then we'll be back.
We are. Yes, exactly. So last week we had Inger Van Dyke on. Well, we had a pre-recorded show with Inger because she lives in the UK and has a crazy travel schedule. She's jaunting off to South America next, and she was previously in Africa for a little while. So if you didn't get a chance to go see that and you're interested in just an amazing human being who is all about cultural diversity and respecting other people, and she's an award-winning photographer. I mean, she's got titles all over the place. Anyway, she's super fascinating. Head on over to our YouTube channels, hit subscribe, and go watch her show.
For sure. We also want to mention what we're really excited about this week is funny. So I have a dog and my dog will most likely want to chat too, but Anna's dogs are usually really great. But what I want to mention is this weekend, Anna and I are taking our very first joint branding business retreat to hash out all of the things that we need to hash out. Did it come timely because I have 10 people in my house and it's a nice little weekend break? Hi, Becky. Talk about photographers. Becky is also amazing. She's a photographer. So thank you for tuning in today. Hi, John. But we're going to be heading out of town. We're heading an hour out of town and we're going to hit up a resort. We're going to go be on a lazy river and we're going to have our waterproof laptops and it's going to be a great business trip. We're excited.
It is. And what comes along with that is we've got some really exciting, upcoming ideas for AnnaandSelena.com. So thanks for sticking with us for the last year since we kind of just threw ourselves into this big fire and just said, let's try this out and see how it works. So we're excited. We're excited for what's coming up. But so before we get to, we're just going to jump into our show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, let's do it. I'm going to bring up Matthew's bio.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have not heard of this person, where have you been, you guys? Matthew is everywhere right now. He is literally a connection king. And we're just excited that we got to have him on our show today to talk about what he does, who he is. But also he's kind of representing our Father's Day special edition. You know what I mean? We want to talk some parent talk, maybe even what's it like as a dad to do this and be a military spouse,
Military spouse, father, inventor, business owner, triathlete. I mean, really, it's it's kind of amazing. So let's just do a really quick rundown on Matthew's bio, give you a little idea of who he is. Yeah. So first of all, he has a master's in aerospace engineering. So smarty pants. Yeah, he's a super smarty pants. Yeah. And he worked with the Navy to help submarines be quiet, which I think is cool.
If you thought submarines were quiet, you were wrong. And Matthew apparently was part of helping that. That problem. You know what I mean?
I have no idea how he does that or what that even means, fighter engines. I don't know. But whatever it is, I think it's cool. I imagine this silent sub going nowhere, right? So prompted by a PCS, Matthew switched to triathlon coaching. So I think he's in an Ironman triathlon and just a couple of things like that. So like we're talking professional here. We're not talking like, down at the park with a 5K
banner. Not that anything is wrong with the 5K guys, because Matthew helps you run 5Ks, but like leveling up. Yeah. I want to share the story. It's almost timely too, but so I lived on the Big Island when I was a young kid, and one of the things that my dad had me and my middle sister do, we had to be on the Ironman path when they were doing the bikes part of the triathlon, and we had to hand them water if they so wanted it on the way there, but then on the way back when they were running, we had sponges. And my sister found a 1989 video of us trying to hand a sponge to this like amazing triathlete. Didn't want it, and my sister's face is like holding a sponge, and they're like, anyway. But so those are that. I just want to remind people how much probably mental stamina you need to have to do a triathlon. So I just like major kudos to Matthew for just being so accomplished in so many ways. So
yes, exactly.
No pressure, Matthew, when you come on. So you know what I mean?
I'm just going to say one more thing about him, and then let's bring him on. But so because of military life and COVID and all those things, now he's no longer triathlon coaching, except for I think a couple of people. But he is now an inventor and creator of the Kovii App, which is a communication application. And we're going to talk about it today as part of our toolkit. So super excited that. All right, so let's bring Matthew on, right? And introduce him to everyone.
Do it, Anna. Bring him in.
Hello.
Matthew, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, excited to be on your 50th episode.
I know yes. And hey, happy early Father's Day to you, Matthew. Like it's coming down the road. I hope you guys have some fun things planned. You know what I mean? And if not, still, you're a dad. You know what I mean?
You want to know something? I don't even know what day Father's Day is.
It's this coming weekend on Sunday, I think.
Your 20-month-old will surprise you with some big slobbery kisses and a long day of chasing after them, I'm sure.
And a note from your spouse that says, "Hey, don't forget to mow the lawn." You know what I mean? Like maybe that, right?
Okay. So before we get into our conversation, let's do our coffee cup selfie.
Yes. So we love to do this. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. Oh, look. Okay, ready, guys? Oh, ready, Anna? Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Oh,
thank you.
Anna, we did not ask our question we love to ask. Do you have one for the guest today?
I do, actually, because we're talking about connections and kind of like some of the conversations I've had in the past with Matthew. Our question today for everyone that's listening is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Ooh. And what do you consider yourself? So because for me, I am very much an extrovert in some situations and an introvert in others. And I know there's kind of like that middle of the road, like down the line, like some people kind of fall in that middle space, and everybody has an introvert extrovert moments. Yeah. But I really find that I can be an extrovert, but then I need that time back to myself for a while, and I'm just fine being alone. So what about you guys?
Matthew.
I heard somebody, or probably read some post that was talking about being introverted and extroverted, and how we normally think of it as being comfortable in environments by yourself or with others. And somebody else kind of mentioned, no, it's more about like where you regenerate, where you get your energy back. So it's like you can be an introvert and love and need that social environment, but then you kind of need to retreat in order to like regenerate your energy. So you need the social, but it wears you out. Yeah. And if that's the definition we're going with, I'd probably go with that one. But definitely a mixed. And I often with Kovii, I'm usually thinking more about the term like socially reserved, more so than like introverted, I guess. And that's just the person who they need the social interaction, but they're not as comfortable just like launching themselves into the center of a group activity. They're like kind of hanging on the peripheral, but if you go engage with them one-on-one, they like really, really love conversation and want that connection, but they don't feel comfortable like being center of a group.
Until they're ready, right? Like when they've maybe made a
multiple with everybody in that group, then they're more likely to be comfortable, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so Becky threw out that she was mostly introverted. What about anybody else listening right now? Are you introverted or extroverted? Pop it in the comments so that we can share and just kind of know who our audience is right now, right?
For sure. I will tell you, I don't ever say I'm one. I really do say I'm an extroverted introvert. Like that's, because like you had just mentioned, Matthew, like I have to have somebody or a role at the place I'm at to make me feel safe and secure. Like I feel like, okay, that's what I need to go. Like, and somebody had asked me this actually last week, and I said, we go to the Spouses Luncheon Club here at Fort Hood. And if I don't go with Anna, I probably won't go because I do not want to walk into the room, even though I know a sprinkle of people. It's can I sit at your table? And I feel like all this anxiety of like the cafeteria lunchroom vibe, where you think they're gonna be like, sorry, wrong table. Like, go sit with the 70-year-old spouses that maybe will let you in. I don't know. I get this whole narrative going on in my head. But,
yeah, I think that's really common.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Extrovert. So I think, again, as we're segueing into like our toolkit, which will be about Matthew's app, it's like there is this way of kind of like, oh, you don't, if there's new people that you've met, but you're not super, super close to, it's a great way to be like, hey, I'm available, and you can ping them. And there's not this like, the Selena anxiety of, I hope I don't bother you. I hope I'm worthy of an interaction with you. I know that's so silly, but whatever tool you need to help you when you are feeling this way,
Well, why don't we throw up the app? Let's throw up the app and talk about it for a minute and let Matthew kind of explain what it is. So this is the app that he created last year during COVID.
He just created one. No biggie.
Yeah. Well, he's an aerospace engineer, so they do those kinds of things. They just
on their off time. Right.
Make submarines silent, create apps. That's right. What they do. So, Matthew, tell us a little bit about how the app came about and what it does for people.
Got it. So the app, I like to say it's the easiest way to stay connected with your friends, family, or anybody who you want to stay connected to. By welcoming others to call you, not on a schedule, anytime you mark yourself available. So it came from me needing to talk to people on my time, not on a schedule. So I was working from home, daycare was closed last summer, and so I'm trying to like balance things with a 6-month-old. And people would say, hey, let's talk Tuesday at 2 p.m. Let's catch up. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing Tuesday at 2 p.m. because it all depends on if I'm changing a poopy diaper or putting him down for a nap or if I'm just sitting there on the floor playing with Legos bored, then I'd love to talk. So I couldn't really schedule things, but I did want to talk to people. Yeah. And so this was the way of saying like, right now I'm in the mood to talk to one of my 5 best friends. I don't really care which of my 5 best friends it is. The which is whichever one of them happens to be free and wants to talk to me right now. And so, Selena, you're kind of pointing at that. You're like, I don't want to intrude and like put myself in a situation where I don't know if those people want to talk to me. And you're talking about the physical space of like sitting at their table. Yeah. But in the same sense, like, we have friends, we have family, we have like business colleagues and clients. There's all sorts of different categories of people that we would like to communicate with. But oftentimes the person that we are best suited to connect with is the person who also wants to connect with us. And so this is a way to put out that public announcement, the virtual, like, my door is open.
Yeah.
If you're walking by, like, walk on in, you're welcome.
I think, yes, right, Becky? It is a great idea.
Yeah.
And hi, it's a free app. I mean, I'm not like trying to promote this because it really is a good app. Like, and I tell you what, Matthew and I have been trying to connect all week, and I get this notification, but he knows I was not actively ignoring him. He knows I'm not available because I have 10 people and a dog in my house right now, and I can't even think. It's almost as bad as a PCS. Like, you know what I mean? Where you just don't know what's going on. But you guys go download it. Seriously. Oh,
yeah, we have a question from Michael. What platforms does it work on?
Right now it's iOS only, so iPhone and iPads. Working to get it to Android, but I need more users. I need to validate it and get more money. So, so once I get more users and more traction, then I can get some investors to pay for the Android half.
Yeah, that would be great. And just by the way, Matthew, Michael is one of my clients and an amazing guy. He owns a restaurant in Hawaii where you have a great photo right behind you, the island, the chains right there. So anyway, gosh, Michael, just saying this could be really good for the restaurant. You know, we'll talk about it.
When I first heard of Kovii, Matthew and I talked about Kovii being used for even like business hours for a business. Like there are a lot of applications, even aside from personal. If you had office hours and then you just let your clients know, hey, I'm available during this time frame, and then it's kind of like whoever gets to you first gets to connect with you at that moment. So I see that there are a lot of like really cool ways that you could apply this for small businesses or for friend groups or for nonprofits that are trying to connect with their volunteer base. Or, I mean, all kinds of applications, right? Like,
yeah, the initial two applications Sorry, you paused, and so I thought you stopped, and then I started talking over you.
Talk over me. Tell us how to use it.
The initial two applications I had in mind was the friends and family. Like anytime you're bored or lonely or just need a friend to talk to, connect with your current friends and family. And then the other application was small business, where I was coaching full time. And so it's like when my son is napping and I have the ability to focus on some work, it's like just opening the door and being like, hey, first person to call me, like I'm free right now. Let's have our meeting. And lately I've been branching into two other areas of groups. So one is like the new friends group. So if this audience is militaries, we'll go with that example, but there's lots of different examples. Say you are new to a base and you have all the other spouses that are new, and you join a group on Kovii of about 7 people. If you have more people, you go into different groups. And then you mark yourself available and get called by other people. And it's like casual peer support and like friendship speed dating. And it's just super convenient way to get to know people, because if you have to go to an event, like Selena was talking about the luncheon, if you don't have that one person to go with, you're really not likely to put yourself in that situation. You have to plan your day around it. You have to plan your kid's schedule around it. You have to plan your work schedule around it. You have to drive somewhere. And so there's all these barriers that prevent people from like going out to these in-person events. But if we can just connect people in the 20 minutes where they're scrolling social media, just have them connect one-on-one, they create some friendships, and then they have some friends to go to events with. And it's, if you don't like talking to somebody for 20 minutes, you don't talk to them again next time. You have like different people to talk to. And then the other new program that I'm working on is more of the support calls aspect, where you're connecting volunteers with a beneficiary of sorts, somebody who's in need. And that really ranges from any sort of mentor to mentee, to people who have experienced something traumatic, to supporters or people who have gone through that, people going through cancer, connecting to survivors. There's a bunch of different situations and that where you have mentor-mentee type relationship where the mentor wants to be available when they can, and the support or the person getting the support needs it when they need it, and not just like at a scheduled time. It's like when they're low and need help, that's when you want to give them the help.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
2 questions came through that Anna had posted up. Not 2 questions, but one, Becky just said she downloaded the app already now and she's excited. She's a photographer, and I would imagine that, she could just task this out to her new clients, right? Hey, this is how we'll communicate. You'll know when I'm available for any questions you have for your session, and send as long as you're on iOS, but it's a great tool to help her also, say I'm available to you if you're ready, and even to ping them, hey, if you're available, I'm available for you now, and they can get in there. But like you said, it's an invasive way. And then I'll let Anna ask Michael's question.
Oh, yeah. So Michael came on and asked about, can it be ported to Alexa?
Maybe not now. We just launched in January, so it's still a pretty early version. But I love feedback and I love suggestions, and pretty much I'm keeping a tally of all the different things people request so that I know what to prioritize putting in next.
I'm requesting Android. You got that one down there, right?
Yeah, that one is definitely high on the desired list. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, I don't know about you, but right, this is exciting. There are many, many ways that you can use this app, and like Matthew said, he's open to feedback, that if there's something he never thought of that other people use, and then that is exactly how you should be in your own businesses, is take feedback so you can improve your product. Wouldn't you say? I mean, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about this yesterday, where another client of mine, not Michael, said he had to take a look at his menu, and he realized he needed to say, you know what, I needed to take out items from his menu because he realized what was being ordered, and he wanted to keep it here instead of having this fat. You know what I mean? You just have to constantly take feedback. Anyway, Kovii App, we're still going to talk about it throughout this whole show, so don't you worry. But we want to also kind of find out about the guy that invented it. You know what I mean? So what's up next, Anna?
Well, we're going to do our mental health question of the day. This is just it's the get to know Matthew just a little bit better. So our question today comes from our mental health barista.
Wow.
Who is licensed and she's an AMFT, but I think she's an LMF. I don't know. Family therapist. We're just going to throw that word out there. So the question we have today is, what activities do you find to be restorative and which do you find to be draining? And I think this is interesting that you just were talking about introvert, extrovert, and how are you restoring your energies? Right. And that kind of was the definition behind those 2 words. So I'm curious, what do you do to restore yourself?
So it sounds like a really simple question. And I could just be like, well, I'm a triathlete and I like to go run and swim and bike to restore my energy. And I'm an introvert, so I like to be by myself. But thinking about this question, I don't think it's that simple for me. So it depends on kind of what I'm restoring myself from and what I'm drained from. And lately, my biggest stressor has been Kovii, the business, trying to get users and explain it to people and get them excited and get organized, whatever, all the stuff about it. That's scary and intimidating, and there's a million tasks to do. So when I'm super drained, my default might be to go for a run, and that's kind of like an escape and getting away. And a little bit it can clear your head, and a little bit just like some meditation or a little nap, like something like that can be restorative in a sense, but not that much, because ultimately what restores my energy for the work that I do is knowing that I can make an impact. So talking to other people who understand it and who are excited about it and motivated and can help me pursue it further, that's what motivates me and restores my energy. So it's like the more progress I'm making, the more optimistic I am, the more energy I have to keep working. Whereas if I go take a nap or go for a run, or meditate, like those things can be good, but they can also be perpetual, like avoidance almost. So like a month ago, we were PCSing and I was overwhelmed with the expense of the app and all sorts of things. And so I kind of went into that avoidance state for a while. And I think I needed it. But eventually avoiding doesn't do any good. Like you have to get back at it and keep doing the work. So that's my long answer is,
no, it's a great answer.
Makes me more energized to do it.
That is very true. And I like how you said, like, sometimes those, like, and I'm just saying in quotations, like the self-care things we want to do for ourselves can also be, like you said, an avoidance to, like, finishing the task. You know, that's kind of like daunting on us. Like, I have done that a zillion times. I've called Anna just to avoid having to do something for one of our projects.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just like getting yourself in the best mental state so that you can be positive, and not focus on the negatives and everything that's going bad and then dwell on that. Like, you can't do that or you just stop.
No, that's so true. And like Anna put this down here, what you just said, Matthew, knowing I can make an impact, that's what motivates me and restores my energy. So good. And so true. Nice. Yeah, that is a good quote, right?
That is a good quote. I didn't use that one. Well, I picked up on it because when you said knowing I can make an impact, that's what restores my energy, and thought, whoa, that's pretty darn powerful. Like, it's the reason why you're doing what you do, right? You're looking to help someone and to make somebody else's lives better. And that's powerful. Like, that's just humankind, right? Like, be kind, be generous with yourself, be thoughtful of other people. If it's always about us, I think that probably is very draining.
Yeah, it's so true. And like, one of the best selfish thing you can do is to focus on everybody else, because that's what makes your life better. Like, when you focus on yourself in a selfish way, everything sucks.
No, I hear you.
Yeah. So so interestingly, I mean, like, our conversation today is kind of about connections, right? So when we're talking about this and we're talking about you making an impact in other people's lives, and how that is still a connection, even if you're not like chatting with them for an hour on the phone or texting back and forth, like, you're still connecting in a way by creating an app that helps them in their lives, or by even having this conversation and that thought provoking where it might push them or urge them to do something maybe they weren't planning on doing today. So I have to tell you, the first conversation I ever had with Matthew, we were just chitter-chatting kind of about this conversation. And he said something, and I wrote it on a Post-it, and I still have it on a Post-it. And it says, let yourself enjoy the moment you are in. And then, look, I even got your name on there, Matthew Shanks, right? Because that's one thing he said. He said, I just, sometimes social media makes you feel like you have to take that picture. You have to document the conversation. You have to write down what's occurring, like Twitter, it's got what's happening right at this moment. And you forget to just enjoy that space that you're in and the people you're with and the time you're having, whether it's by yourself or doing your work or helping your child or visiting a family or friend. I mean, whatever the moment is, we feel like we have to document it instead of just being in it. And so I just thought what you just talked about as far as like making an impact on other people, like, that's a huge part of that, is like making sure that you are in that moment with them, as opposed to what's next, what am I going to do next, how am I going to share on social media what just happened, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Matthew, I'm also getting from this that possibly you need to have a Kovii book, like of quotes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because apparently you got good stuff. She wrote it on a Post-it and it's still there. You know
I
what I
just
mean?
need Anna to talk to me to pull all these things out.
Right?
Testing them all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, your weekly session with Anna will start next week and we'll have the book done by Christmas. So there's our next app. There's our next thing. We're going to get people to download the Kovii app because we wrote a really cool book of Kovii quotes. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to put a QR code in there and say, just download it for free.
I love
Same
it.
with this thing. Anyway, food for thought, Matthew. Let's let that sink in. You know, he's going to get off this and tell us, I was like, there are some crazy ladies. Like, I don't know. Now I'm writing a book. I thought I was just doing an app, but now I got a book of quotes coming out by Christmas, you know?
So books are great publicity.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Okay, Anna, what is next? What do we got coming up for Matthew?
Well, so our next question is really all about connections, and it kind of focuses on who Matthew is as a person and kind of, you know, why connections are so important. So, Matthew, how do your connections help you as in all your different roles? Father, Ironman triathlete, a business owner. I mean, and there's a bunch more like titles that we could plop on there, but these are the top 3. I'm going to add in there aerospace engineer and silencer of submarines. And I mean, really, you know, there's so many different titles that we all wear. And so how do you see each one of those connections, whether they be a deep, intimate connection or a surface connection, helping you out in these ways?
Yeah, that's a loaded question for sure.
Yeah. And it's all yours.
So connections as a father, I see a lot of support needed. I'm getting support from my connections, from my community, from my family. And I think it was you, Anna, that I was talking to about this, where the past year I've been the full-time caregiver. We just had daycare start up a week ago after 15 months off of daycare. And with being full-time childcare, it's not that I ever feel like being a parent isn't enough. I hear a lot of people saying that, and it just sounds wrong. Not in the sense that like they shouldn't want more or whatever. It's that you're saying it's not enough as if you need more. I don't know. I got to get this framed right. It for me, being a full-time parent is too much. It's not enough. It's too much. It's that I absolutely love being a parent, but I can't handle doing it full-time because it's too much work. I want a little more variety, and even without the variety aspect, it's just a lot of work to be a parent 24/7.
Yes.
And so I need support. So from my connections, I'm getting support, and that's from my mom, from my mother-in-law, from those two in particular helped out a lot with childcare when we didn't have any. And that's how I was able to get some time to focus on the app. But then, it's too much to be a father all on my own. And just today, like I was dropping off my son at daycare. It's a little over half a mile away. We only have one car. My wife takes it to work, so I walk him to daycare, and it's like sprinkling raining, and I checked the weather forecast and it said rain at 10, and this was at like 8 a.m. I drop him off and I step outside and it's like pouring rain. Like,
Of course it is.
but then somebody walks out. Hey, you need a ride? I turn around and it's like a neighbor who lives 4 doors over. I'm like, yes, I do.
I love that.
So she probably wouldn't have offered if we didn't already know each other. But anyway, that's a connection that helped me as a father for sure, get home from daycare. As a triathlete, the training is super hard to stay consistent. And it's enjoyable in the moments, somewhat, sort of. It's one of those like love-hate type things. But it can be hard to get yourself out the door to go do something that you know is going to be a lot of work. And community with that, having training partners is the best thing. When you have a friend who's going to meet you somewhere for a bike ride or at the pool for a swim or whatever, you have the accountability and you have something more to look forward to because it's a friendship. You have somebody to chit chat with. You're not going to be alone. You're even when you're swimming, you're like, you've got your head in the water, but you're still interacting because you're like trying to keep up with each other or doing the same workout. Even if you're not talking, you're still connecting. And then what's the last one? As a business owner, connections as a business owner have been everything, because I've gone out and tried to like get people interested in Kovii, and I say, hey, here's an app, it's great. And people are like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then it like dies off. The only way I feel like I'm really able to get Kovii out there is by having people who really share a mission, and I'm able to help them in their own mission rather than just like say, here's an app, it'll like help you do whatever and whatever. Like I have to find their mission and say, look, this app will enhance what you're already doing. And that's the type of connection that I'm looking for and finding most useful right now.
So when you're done, Anna, I have a question statement.
Yeah. No, go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know me, I'll forget. First of all, when you were describing like triathlon and being there with a partner that you're not necessarily like face to face while you're swimming, I'm like, I pointed up at Anna because I'm not saying it's anywhere close to the like physical stamina you need for tough, but I feel like there are so many big things that Anna and I do together, and it is like she keeps me accountable. She motivates me when I'm not feeling motivated. Like you said, like if I'm not pushing hard while I'm swimming and I look and my bestie is like a whole couple feet ahead, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to be that behind. But my question was how you said, like, as a parent, right? Like, not that you don't want to do 24/7, but some of us are not. We're not made to just be a parent. Like we want more. And I think somebody had said it to me best is make sure you're also setting yourself up for when your children are out of the house. Like, you know what I mean? Have something for you that's you when they are off to college, you know, and you have that empty nest syndrome, right? So I worked my whole entire adult life until I married my Army guy, and we went to our first duty station and he said, hey, yeah, you can just take a year off. And I was like, whoa, a year off. And then literally 6 months later, I was like pulling my hair out and I was like, I do need variety, like you said. And that's how I landed into this accidental entrepreneurship, which is I found something to do. But I think I just wanted to say I resonated with the needing of variety in your life as a parent, I think is essential, right? Because anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Cause I was like, oh, go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say when Matthew was talking about this, one of the things that popped into my head was just that this is kind of like the epitome of our identity, who we are, right? So that we've got all these different people surrounding us, our family members, our neighbors that give us a ride home from daycare, the people that we see at the grocery store. There's a checkout lady, and I see her, I swear, every time. And I feel like we should be friends, but I don't even know her name, even though I recognize her every time I go into the grocery store. She's always there. I don't know. Maybe it's fate. Like this is the fate telling me, introduce yourself to this woman. You need to be friends with her, right? But there's all these people, and they impact us in different ways. And part of it is that outward, how can we help better their lives, right? It's having them, but then there's this maybe unrecognized almost impact inward as well, where just like we're trying to impact them, they're trying to impact us in some way. And how that connection kind of like identifies or defines a little bit of who we are and how we operate, and even how our life is going, and all those things that come to be a part of it. And so when something isn't maybe going great in parenthood, you can reach out to those connections to help bolster you and give you that restorative energy, maybe is how I would put it, since we talked about that too. I mean, everything's kind of like culminating in this one great thought of, you know, what connections can really do for you. So anyway, I just found it really interesting. Like you had different connections for each of those three things, and they worked differently in your life, each of the three different ways. As opposed to it just being, yeah, they helped me out by really like motivating me and giving me energy. They were all different, you know. Father connection drove you home from daycare in the rain. That's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just my thought. That was my thought.
I loved your thought. It was great. Did anybody, if you're watching this on the replay, you know, let us know what you thought. Tell us in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're listening to this podcast after, there are areas in our special podcast Anchor where you can actually leave us a comment and we can hear it. So do that. But let us know what you thought of Matthew's like connection talk there. Like how does your connections help you, you know, as a parent, as, you know, a business owner? And if you happen to also be a triathlete, I mean, like, do share, you know what I mean?
Or almost any hobby that you might have,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you could be a knitter, and it's the same kind of
Yes.
thing when you find your group of people that have those similar values or similar ideals.
Yeah.
And you're all working towards the same goal. I mean, there's an impact that happens with that allows you to be better, do better, be stronger, do more, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting. I love connection. Like right now is PCS season for all of our military friends, right? They're all moving right now. They're either just moved, like Matthew just moved and moving into their new homes, or they're getting ready to pack up their stuff and go, or they're in the middle of a move right now. And just watching this process and now being a retired military family and knowing I don't ever have to go through that again has really opened my eyes to kind of that whole connections thing. You know, my friends leaving, some friends staying, new friends coming in, and like how that works, like in terms of the impact that they have on my life and the direction I go and the things that I do. And then, you know, vice versa, how I can help them through the same process. So it's just, you know, maybe today's conversation is really about being aware of who's around you and what they might need a little bit.
Yes, I'd like to challenge businesses, nonprofits, for-profits, all the profits, whatever it is. I want to challenge you to connect with Matthew, really look at his app and see how it can actually really help your organization, because I really do. Like, I think me and Anna, we love to like look at products and see like its potential. And Matthew's is, I think it is a great way to communicate with your organization. And like, Matthew and I had a good conversation a couple months ago and I'll just put this out, like I think this app is, like we said, use it for cancer nonprofits that want to have like a program where they want to connect people in the community, right? But it allows this like on off, like I'm available, I'm not available, especially during treatment. Matthew knows about how, you know, when you're in treatment, that could be, you know, you're not sure when to bother them or if they're available. And this app allows you to say it without having to say it. Yeah. So there are so many good ways to use this app. And the more we help this app, the more robust it's going to get with more features, more this, because that's what Matthew needs. Come on, guys, let's make this happen.
And I love that he's just talked about it for the last, 40 minutes, but he's motivated to make it better and more usable for everyone in all the different applications, business, personal, nonprofit, all of those different applications. He's motivated to make it better. So I agree with Selena. Download the app and try it out.
Yeah. So with saying that, I want Matthew to tell everybody where you can. I mean, he is making it easy, guys. You do not have to hunt for this person. But Matthew, tell us your favorite places you love to be out of all of these, but tell everybody how they can find you.
Out of all those places, I love to be on Kovii on a one-on-one call with people, because that's what I find to be the best connection. Yeah. All these places, you'll see a lot of inconsistency because I get worn out from trying to like uphold a presence. And so you'll see a lot of inconsistency on those channels. However, if you message me any of those places, I will get it. And if you have any ideas of how you might want to use it, something that we've mentioned already or something different, I'd love to hear it and work with you to see if we can implement it in either your personal life, your business life, or your organization. There's, the core comes down to, if you're in the community, your community is only as strong as the friendships within it. And so that's the level that I focus on. Your business is only as strong as your communication with your clients. This app can make you more accessible to your clients while also having better respect for boundaries.
Yes.
Usually those two things come out of opposition, but it can actually help both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel like I have one more point. Oh yeah. So with like mental health aspect, I hear this a ton, like reach out to your friends, like check in on your friends, and posting whatever to your Facebook that says like, if you need somebody, I'm here for you. I think those are all nearly useless.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be too harsh, but
No.
But when you see a post that goes out to everybody and says, I'm here for you if you need me, just reach out anytime, the person who sees that, one, they don't know that it's directed to them. Two, even if you did specifically direct it to them in like a text message, for example, if you tell them, reach me anytime, they know that of all the times they possibly could reach you, many of those times are bad times. Therefore, they're not going to reach out to you. And these are the people who need this help are typically the more reserved people. Even if they're not the reserved people, they're reaching out in a time of need when that like requires a certain amount of vulnerability. So they're not willing to just like wait for a scheduled call or whatever. They're going to text you once and be like, hey, do you want to talk? And if you're like, oh, how about another time? Like, they're not going to keep trying over and over. After a few attempts, if somebody's in a low spot and they reach out a few times and they're failed attempts, they're going to stop reaching out. So I don't know. I see like so many issues with the way we currently try to support each other. And with Kovii, I think it can really revolutionize that, because what you're doing is you're marking yourself available to those people that you want to be reaching out to. And you're saying, right now is a good time for you to call me. I would like to hear from you. I would like to talk to you. You can put in your status like that or what you're up to give them an idea of what they're calling into. And it's just a very passive but direct invitation that makes them feel welcome. They know they're not bothering you. And as the person who needs those connections, getting those little pings every now and then really makes them know that like they can call somebody if they want to. And of course, they can also mark themselves available and say, hey, I'd like a friend to talk to. And I've heard a few comments this week of how amazing it is to be able to go on the app, not know exactly who you want to talk to, but want to talk to somebody, mark yourself available, and then a minute later, your phone's ringing.
Love that.
That's a great feeling, and that's what Kovii can do.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of my
No, sorry, I only muted myself for a hot second because my Alexa is telling me like, hey, life is going, like life's happening. I didn't want y'all to have to listen to Alexa. She's wonderful, but sometimes she comes in at the wrong moments. But Anna, I mean, like I said, as you just download it, check it out. You know, get your Apple spouse also to download it. Not, obviously your spouse would be like, you better be available 24/7. But with the friends and the family, I see this as such a great tool for business. I really, really do. So
definitely customer service wise, this is fantastic. It allowed, yes, it really is. Hey, my office hours are this time to this time. And if I don't answer, it's because I'm on the call with someone else.
Like,
right?
here's what I'm pledging. Here's what I'm doing. As soon as we're done with our show, I'm actually going to send an email to all of my clients and say, hey guys, here's how we're going to communicate today. I want you to download this app because we are correct connected already via our phone numbers. You'll know when I'm available to you. So that's what's going to happen. That's my pledge. Because honestly, almost all my clients have Apple. So that's what I want to do. And I'm going to, so that's what I'm doing, awesome. Guys. I hope you guys give it a shot. Okay, before we end, I mean, I could talk about this all day, but let's bring in the what you call that? Yeah, our tip jar.
Our tip jar. We're going to tell you just a quick financial tip.
Yeah.
Make sure you always have make sure you have a business only bank account or PayPal account, Stripe account, however you're collecting money from your client. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have a business only account. And the reason for this is because if you're commingling, you can't deduct interest. You can't use some things for taxes that you might normally be able to do if you're commingling personal finances and business finances. Yeah. And plus it just makes it so much easier to track at the every month, because we all know we're doing finances every month, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sure. No, I don't. You want to know why I don't, guys? So Caitlin here that is featured, which is one of our guests last season. She is also, she's my CPA. She keeps me in check. She sends me an email that says, hey girl, you got to send me some stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's right. And if when you talk about outsourcing, she's made a big impact. When you talk about impact, Matthew, she's made an impact on me just in the sense of she gives me my monthly, hey, you did better this month than you did even last month. And this is your growth. She does more than I would have done for my own self, but she allows me to mentally make decisions because I have that information down. So anyway, we love Caitlin, and you should too, just like how you should love Matthew. Gosh, Caitlin, you should have all your clients in Kovii as well. You know what I mean? Just saying.
All right. So before we close up the show, we just want to say thank you again to Matthew for coming on today. Oh. Thank you for telling us about Kovii. Thank you. Selena's moving.
Guys, it's crazy. Here's what's happening. My desk is a stand-up desk, and apparently I didn't lock it. So I accidentally hit my down to level 1. So you're going to be holding my webcam. Go ahead, Anna.
All right. So on that note, Matthew, thank you so much for coming on today and telling us about the Kovii app, for talking about connections. I feel very grateful that just in the last 3 weeks, you and I have been able to connect and get to know each other a little bit better. And I really feel like our conversations kind of surrounding this have been really very poignant for me personally. And so
yeah. Oh, she's frozen, and I know she's excited.
Maybe a little alone, or reach out.
Yeah. I remember.
I'm still talking.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
No, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. But no, again, Matthew, you and Anna are going to have weekly sessions so that you can write this book we talked about that we're also going to put the Kovii app in. It's going to be called the Kovii Book of Quotes. And they're going to be like, who's Kovii? I must have this. You know what I mean? So.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
So, and speaking of connections, make sure you look Selena and I up on our website, AnnaandSelena.com. Connect with us on on LinkedIn. Connect with us. LinkedIn is our favorite place to be. So connect with us on LinkedIn. Yeah. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, or your favorite podcast platform for the 15-ish minute coffee chat. Yeah. And then next season begins July 12th. So we're going to take a couple weeks break, and we'll see you back on. And for all of our fathers out there.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day this Sunday. Mm-hmm. We're very happy that you are having a day.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Again, Matthew, thank you. Yeah, we're so glad you're having your day. But no, Matthew, again, thank you for being our father on our Father's Day special, and just getting to talk about just your app, your life, your business, what you do as a parent. I mean, I think we've all been there, guys. We've been stuck in the rain, and we've had a friend looked at us with pity and get in the car. I got you. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We've all been there. So, okay, guys, we're out. Yeah. I'm so sad, but here we go. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yay.